Have you watched the last lecture?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So have you practiced?
Yeah, I practiced a bit. I was successfully downloaded Visual Studio
Mm-hmm.
2022,
Mm-hmm.
and I have created a new project in console app C Sharp for
Mm-hmm.
Windows,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and I go through the NUnit part, whatever you have shown me the framework by using Paint, right? So I
Yeah.
have gone through that NUnit, why NUnit is required with Selenium with C Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
I have covered that point.
Mm-hmm.
And what else I have done? Yeah, debugging and tried to use the coding part, whatever the 2 to 3 lines coding part I have
Yeah.
tried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and understanding debugging now. This is what I have done yesterday.
Okay. Uh, okay. Okay. So you have installed Visual Studio. Okay, that's good.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm, so have you made the Excel sheet?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So
Mm.
so let's move forward.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the first day, we have covered how to install Visual Studio, how to use various data types. We also so why Selenium is used, why there is a need of an unit. Okay, let's move to some more advanced topics like loops, arrays, and function.
Can you remind me about the data types?
Data types. Yeah, it's a data like int is a data type, double is data type,
Oh,
bool.
okay. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So that's a data type that you cannot declare decimal value in int, and you cannot
Correct.
declare int value in double. Okay, and bool has the
Yes.
go two values, true, either it can be true, either it can be false.
Correct.
Okay, so that moves about some more advanced topics like loops, arrays, and functions.
Mm.
Okay, as we proceed, we will also discuss that why we need to study these topics and why study Selenium, where are we using these concepts. Okay,
Okay.
now
Yeah.
you can add as many classes as you want
Okay.
in your project. Okay. Now I will say uh, loop study. I'll just say okay. Now I said to you that this main method is like whenever we start our project, the code here comes here for the first time. So when I add the class, I can simply add my main method to it so that when I start this class as my startup class, then the code will come here only. Okay. Now suppose we say string x equal to selenium and string y equal to training. Now we study concatenation operator. Okay. And if I simply write console dot write line x plus y. Okay. And we say console dot read key. Okay. Now if I want to make this class as my startup class, what do I have to do? I have to go to my project, then right click on it, go to properties, and then here startup object, and I have to make this select my class, current class loop study. Okay, then just close it.
Okay.
Okay. Always remember when you make the startup class, just close this. Okay. Now if I run this, That's, now you see that Selenium training is in the one line.
Okay.
Okay? As Selenium and training are two different words assigned to two different variables.
Correct.
Okay? But it is being printed in one single line
Mm.
because we are concatenating the two strings.
Okay.
Now, I want to tell one more thing. Now, when I say int x equal to 100,
Mm.
I think so. I told you that there
Yeah.
is a memory location whose name is I. That if int whose name is I and value assigned as 200. So 200 has been stored inside that memory location.
Memory. Correct.
Now, sometimes interview can ask you that what does it represent in the memory? So you
Mm.
can say, I think so. I told you or not, but I will again repeat it. There is a memory location. Suppose
Mm.
int I equal to 200. It means int I equal to that there is a memory location where 200 is lying and
Yeah.
I is representing that memory location.
Okay.
Okay, this is very much important. It will help you that in the clearing definition of objects that say
Okay.
it I equal 200, so there is a memory location in which 200 is lying and I is representing
200.
uh, I is representing or can say referencing. By referencing I mean suppose if you're 50 kilometers away from Bangalore or Delhi or
Mm.
any other city. Now
Okay.
there is a milestone there that that particular city is 50 kilometers. That milestone is I and
Okay.
Bangalore is 200. Okay, so I is referencing to that particular memory location.
Okay.
I is not 200.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
very good. That is referencing towards 200. That there is a memory location where 200 is lying, and I is referencing to that location.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, yeah, we have seen the concatenation operator. That two different words in a single line. I can
Okay.
add as many words as want to.
Okay.
I suppose I say string z equal to with C sharp, and I will say now if I run this again, now I say Selenium training with C sharp, I can concatenate as many strings as I want.
Okay.
Okay. Now suppose there is int a equal to 100, then int b equal to 200. Now, what will I write? Console dot write line a plus b. I will just
Okay.
comment this one. Okay. Now, if I run this, it will simply add these int plus int, and it gives me the result as 300. 100 plus 200.
Okay.
Okay. Now, suppose if I say console dot write line a plus b plus y plus z, and I will say y plus
Because,
z. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Okay. No, 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 no
a
problem.
plus b and say, so what will it give me in the first statement, this one, and what will it give me in the this statement? Can you tell?
That is, yeah,
Hmm.
300 selenium with C sharp.
No,
First,
this is not here. Now,
okay.
a plus b, y
A plus
plus,
B. Okay.
okay, the-
Okay.
that's my mistake, x plus y,
Okay.
and say x plus y. Okay, now
Okay.
what will it
Okay.
give?
Okay. Yeah, 300 selenium training.
Okay, and in the this one,
Second one, yeah, and yeah, selenium training 300.
okay, just run this and we will see that what it will give.
Okay.
Now there are three console elements. Now you have set
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
300
yeah. Console is
selenium training,
another is there. Correct. 300, 300 selenium
selenium
training.
training, but in the second one, selenium training
Selenium
100,
training.
200.
Okay. Yeah.
Why? Now we will understand this in the paint. First of all, we will take this concept a plus b
Okay.
plus x plus y. Okay. Now, if I say, if I know that int uh, a equal to 100, int b equal to 200, then string x equal to selenium. I will just put in double quotes, and then string uh, y equal to training. Now comes the first part when it said a plus b plus x plus y. Now what happens? The code will start from left to right. It will never go with right to left. It will always go with left to right. Okay. Now a plus b, 100 plus 200. Now both are integers.
Okay.
Okay. So it will just add like 300. Okay.
Okay.
Now when it comes with 300 plus x, now x is
String.
selenium.
Okay.
Now one is integer, one is string. When we concatenate integer with string, that 300 will automatically act as a string.
Okay.
Okay, then the result will be, yeah, result will be 300 selenium. Now it should be like this. Now when it wants to add with the training plus y. Now this part has been done. A plus b plus x, 300 selenium. Now this will become string. When it's concatenated with the string which is training, you can say plus y, then, and the value of y is training. So it will come out to be 300 selenium training, as these both are strings. So it will end as a string, and we will get that. uh, I have just, okay. Now the second one, selenium training 100 200. Okay. Now the second part, that is x plus y plus a plus b. Okay. Now x plus y, x plus y. These both are string. Okay? I will say x plus y. They both are string. They both concatenate. It will give us Selenium
Training.
training. It's a simple thing. Now, when it starts to concatenate with a, and the value of a is 100, we'll
Mm.
say mm, plus a, and a is 100.
Yeah.
Now, one is string and another is integer. Now, I already told you when you want to concatenate with a string, then they will both act as a string. Okay,
Mm.
now 100 will act as a string. Now, the result will be Selenium training 100.
100.
Okay, now comes the last part plus b, and b is 200. Now, this is act as a string, and I will say plus 200. Now, one string, another is integer, then they will both act as a string. Okay, and the result will be Selenium training 100 than 200, because they both act as a string. So it is Selenium training 100, 200. Okay, so you have to be very careful when you're working with the strings and integers. Okay, now
Okay.
if I write one more thing, say console dot write line, I will say a plus b, then plus, then again x plus y. Now I have included the brackets. Now
Brackets. Okay.
what will be the result?
Okay. It will be maybe, yeah, 300,
Mm-hmm.
300 selenium training.
Okay, let's run this. It's the fourth line. We can say one,
Because
two, three.
selenium, okay, 300 is an integer,
Mm-hmm.
and x plus y is string means integer plus selenium training. Yeah,
Now suppose
300 selenium training.
now you have okay. Now if I say uh,
Okay, then there won't be a difference for first a plus b plus x plus y. Okay, okay. Mm-hmm.
and in the last statement, what will be it be?
X plus y. X plus y means the same thing. Selenium training.
Mm-hmm.
Selenium training.
And
300.
now if you say that we have get Selenium training, then 100, 200 in this.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last one,
Mm-hmm.
selenium training,
Mm-hmm.
300.
Okay. Let's run this. Selenium training 300 and 300 Selenium training. Okay.
Okay.
So why it has do that? We
The
have
separated with the brackets.
the brackets value will solve first. It's like
Mhm.
you have the rule in your
Yes,
mathematics
correct.
that it will solve the bracket value first.
Correct.
Okay, so
Mm.
when you work with the integers and strings, you have to be very careful, otherwise you will get an error. Okay,
Yeah.
so you have to be very careful while using the concatenation operator. It never adds up directly, especially with the case of strings. Okay. So till now that we have discussed so far is present in every programming language, whether it is C Sharp, PHP, Java, or Python. The
Mm.
concept remains the same for every programming language, that how you declare the variables. Okay. So now let's move forward to the concept of loops. Okay. Now for this, I will again just um, I will just comment this one. Okay. Now, first of all, we will take a while loop. Now we say int I equal to 0 and say while I is less than 10. Okay, the console dot write line I, and I will say I equal to I plus 1. Okay. Now if I just run this, now you see it will give me 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Mm.
Okay. So
And
it will start from 0, but it will not give me 10
yeah, because less
because
than that.
yes, if I want to print 10, so I have to give equal to.
Mm.
So what is this? This is initialization.
Mm.
This is initialization. This is my condition. Okay. And this is the incrementation. Okay. While loop will always run for the true condition. It will
Okay.
run till I is less than equal to 10.
Mm.
And you can see even the execution of while loop. Just go with here, just do the debug sign or breakpoint, you
Mm.
can say, and you will
Yeah.
see that it will go inside this bracket till this condition is true. Okay, and
Mm.
same way, uh, we have our for loop. For int, can say y equal to 0, we'll say y is less than 10, and we can say y plus plus. I simply say console dot write line y. I will just comment this one, okay, and I will simply run this. Okay, where the error? Okay, that string. It says so. You can see what is the error.
Yeah. Y cannot be declared in the scope because that name is used in an enclosing local scope to define a local or parameter.
So why it
That
is
is
giving
the
me
error.
error? Why it is giving me error?
Mm. Because y plus plus.
Here,
Mm.
no. Just see why it is giving me error.
Because y is equals to 0, right? So
No,
it cannot.
no.
Okay, into y. Okay, but into y equals to 0, y less than 10. Okay. Y plus plus is increment.
Yeah, it is. The thing I have write it like this. It is okay, but I cannot use y. Why?
Oh,
Just look at the thing. You have lines of code. Why I cannot
okay.
use y? If you closely look, you see that I have declared y as a string.
Oh, over there. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Okay? So I cannot
Okay.
use y as an integer.
Oh, yeah. Correct.
Okay. So I have to go with another variable. Suppose I will take a t.
Okay.
Okay. So you can't use same variable
Okay. Yeah,
or
which is string already. I'm not
okay,
looking at the upper side. Yeah.
okay. So you have
Okay.
when it is giving me error, that it is clearly says that now the scope of this x is inside this brackets.
Yeah.
So you cannot
Correct.
use this x as an integer or any other data type.
Mm.
Now I have written this. Now if I run this, it will give me the same thing. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now if you see that this is the initialization, this is the condition, and this is the incrementation. Okay.
Okay.
Now suppose if I just run this. Now which one is better? It sometimes while is better, sometimes for loop is better. But there is a problem in while loop. Suppose there is initial condition, initialization condition, and then incrementation. Suppose
Yeah.
now I have one line of code. Sometimes what happens, I have so much line of code that this bracket will come here only. So I can't see in one frame that where is my while condition starting and where my it is ending.
Mm.
But suppose I, no, it will be here only. Okay. Now suppose I just forgot to mention this condition. Okay. So if I say, yeah, I mentioned to I mentioned forgot to mention this condition. So what will it do if I just run this?
Yeah, it will write. It will write that uh, I plus one, 0 plus 1,
It will
1.
it will go in the infinity.
Oh.
It will go into infinity loop
Mm-hmm.
because my condition never reached here as I already
You
mentioned forgot to
commented that.
mention it.
Okay.
So I will remain zero always, and it will
Uh,
go inside this loop forever. Okay, so you have to be very careful that when using while loop, the incrementation should be there so that it will not go into the infinity loop, because without this I will always remain zero
mm.
because I have forgot to mention the incrementation. So I will always remain zero and it will just run this loop. It will never get out of this. Okay. So now exercise for you that you have to print the sum of first 100 number.
Mm.
Print the sum of first 100 numbers. Okay. Don't go for Google. If you want to
Mm.
Excel, then don't go for Google. Just try it by yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You can do it. Just you have to see that whether how to achieve it. Okay. Just
Okay.
you can use any condition. You can use while condition. You can use for condition. I just want to print the sum of first 100 numbers. You understand my point? Like 1 plus 2 plus
Yeah.
3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10.
Yeah. Up to
Okay, till
100.
100. Yeah, don't go for Google.
Okay.
Okay. So the
Okay.
question is that where we this is your exercise. Now the question is that where we use for loop in Selenium. Okay. Now suppose if I say yeah, you have an Excel file.
Yeah.
Now suppose there is a username and there is password column. Okay. Now it says username one, then password one, then yeah. So you have username, password, username. So now you want to read these usernames. Okay. So here you can use the for loop. Okay. You can
Okay.
either use iterate through each row, then through each cell. Okay? So you can iterate through this for loop. You can then read this, then again go to next row, then read each cell, then next row, then each cell, then next row, then each cell. Here you can use for loop. Now, if I say, suppose, uh, now suppose I have my rows equal to, if I just move here, I have 7 rows. Okay. Now it will start with 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I have 7 rows, so I will say int rows is 7 and int columns equal to 2.
2.
Okay. Now what will I do? I will say for int, I will say row num equal to 1 and row num is less than equal to rows and r num plus plus. So this will give me iteration of each rows in my Excel. It will iterate through this row, this row, this row, this row, this row. Now I want to iterate through each column. Now inside this, I will again go for my cnum1. Cnum is less than equal to columns and cnum plus plus. Okay, so I can iterate through each, can say, cell. Console dot write line, and it will say mm, like mm, you can say uh, suppose what will write like say the arnum uh, then can say then cnum. Okay. So this way I can go with mm, okay. Now the thing I want to understand that sorry, uh, just say that this is the row number and this is my column number. It will
Correct.
be 0.
1. Mm.
It shall start with 1,
Mm.
then it will 1. 1
Yeah.
1 means you can say 1 comma
Row.
1. First is the row and second is the column. 1 1
Mm.
means this. Now inside this
Oh,
column,
yeah. Mm.
Cnum will increment, but row will remain the same because
Okay.
it will run till 2. So it will now 1, 2, 1,
Yeah.
comma 2.
2.
Okay. So now when it reaches 2 and equal to columns, so it will just get out of this curly bracket and now r num will increment. Now r num will become 2. The rows
Mm.
become 2 and again it will again go to this loop, then again it will start with 1, then 2 1, then 2 comma 2. Okay. Then again it will get out of this condition, then again r num will increment. Now r num will become 3 and again c num will 1, then
3 3. 3 2.
3 comma 2. So this way your for loop is very much comes handy, that you have your row numbers, you have your column numbers. So you can just iterate through each cell in that Excel. Okay. Now this way, this for loop is very come handy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now there is an thing you can say string array. Now suppose you have your username, password, you have your email, then zip code. Okay. Now if you want to now sometimes what happens, you have too lot of data. Now suppose if I just take an example of this, now there is one more column, email, then zip code. Okay, email can be anything, zip code can be anything. Okay, so just I will just not make this. Okay, and email can be anything. Okay. N- Now you have this type of data. Now you want to read this data. You cannot hardcode this data here because
Mm-hmm.
it will be like 7 rows and 4 columns. Right, then means every time, like I can say, yeah, just delete this. Okay. I will say string username equal to something, then string password equal to v1. Okay, and then say string email, then something like gmail.com. Okay, and say string zip code.
Zip code also string.
Okay, sorry, this one should be integer.
Okay.
Okay, now it should be like something like this. Okay, now sometimes you have a lot of data. This is a little bit of data. Suppose you get 100 fields.
Mm-hmm.
So how will you store these value? So for that we have a array. I can say string and name of my uh, string val equal to new string, and it says suppose 7 comma 4. What this 7 comma 4 means, that this is a 7 is a number of rows and 4 is a number of column. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so what can I do? I can say uh, str well, then 0 comma 0. This means it starts with the zeroth index. In
Okay.
arrays, it will start with the zeroth index. So I will say here xxx. Okay. Then again string 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3 till 3 because it is starting with the 0. So I will include 4. Understand my point?
Yes.
Okay. So 0, you can say 0, 1, 0, 2. And if I say, if I want to represent in paint, how can I represent it? The array is like this. So now you have 4 columns. Say 1, 3, 4. Okay. And so this is username. This is password, this is email, and this is zip code.
Difficult.
Okay, and now I can store as many values as I want. Now here
Oh,
it,
Rose.
it comes the rows. So rows like the number of data. Now
Mm-hmm.
I can say if I come look at here, it says first is xxxp1, then this. I go here, I will say xxx, then p1, then some email ID, and then some zip code. I can store as many values as I want. Now the another data can be YYY, then P2, then some email, and then some zip code. Okay. Now this is the representation of 2D array. This is two-dimensional array. It has rows and it has columns. So I can store the this is the data of, you can say, of one person, data of one person, data of second person,
Second person.
then data of third person, then data
Okay.
of fourth person. So I can store as many values as I want. Okay, so this is how we can store 2D array. Okay, the representation is, I think so, yeah, uh, comma x, yeah. So this is how you represent string, and you can store here. It start with the zeroth index, so 0, 1, 2, 3, and it has p1, then your Gmail ID. Now the problem. The problem is that string array cannot hold integer value, or you can say integer array cannot hold string value. So the problem remains there. So I cannot store one integer value or any bool value or any decimal value inside this. So string array, if I declare it string, it can hold only the string value. Suppose if I
Mm-hmm.
want to give this now,
Oh.
if you hold here, cannot implicitly convert type int to string.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you cannot go with the, you cannot store string value inside
Mm-hmm.
the integer, and you cannot, you can say vice versa. Okay, you cannot store string value in integer array, and you cannot store integer value in string array. Okay, so this is a very good thing, good topic for the interview, that they can ask you that whether string array can hold integer value, or it can hold bool value, or it can hold any type of different type of data type. The answer is no. It
Mm-hmm.
cannot hold different type of data type. It can hold that data type in which it has been declared. If I declared it integer, so I cannot store string value in this. Okay. So for this, we have the array name as object array.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So object array is an inbuilt class. Now if I say object, declaration of object array is equal to new object 2. Okay. Now if I hover over object, it says class system dot object. This is the inbuilt class inside C sharp. We will study it in detail, as we will, this will help us in most of the things like reading the data and putting the data into some variable which is of an object array. It will can hold multiple data types. It can hold integer, it can hold bool, it can hold you say double, it can hold integers, it can hold string, it can hold any type of data. Okay, now what this 2 means. Now here I have declared and say 7 is number of rows. Okay, and 4 is number of
Columns.
columns. You have declared rows and columns inside the one go. But inside this, no,
Mm.
we have to declare 2 is number of
Rows
rows.
and columns. Mm.
We will not declare column here. We will declare column when we uh, start populating it. Okay. If you say, mm, now suppose if I want to populate the first row, I will say data 0 equal to new object, new object 4. This means that my first row has contained the number of rows as 4. And
Mm.
here I will say data 0, comma 0, comma 0. It also starts with 0th index. Okay. And I will say the value as xxx. Okay. So uh, I think so. This mm, I have. I think so. I don't know. Yeah. Mm, okay. So we will see that how to declare this. This is not a thing, but right now we are not focusing on this. You right now
Okay.
you have to just knowledge of that there is an array that can hold multiple type of data.
Okay.
Again repeating, holds multiple type of data. Okay, so you can hold multiple of type of data in object array. And how to declare
Okay.
it? This way. And only number of rows declare when you declare the object array. You will get to know that why we declare the number of rows only when we proceed further.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Now moving ahead, these are very small topics, but yes, these are very good topics for the interview. That if you have your knowledge base knowledge as clean, so it will be easy for you to grab more things which are coming which are going to be coming in coming classes. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so your base
Okay.
should be clear. So
Okay.
your interview can ask you, so what type of array, how can I hold multiple data types in one array? So you can say that, sir,
Object
you
array.
can object array.
Mm.
Okay, and it will say that if I want to declare rows, so you can say yes, sir, you can declare the number of rows, but when you start populating it with the first row, you have to declare columns there. Okay, now I will again say 4 is number of columns. Number of columns. It can be like data. If I say for the second row, it can have 5 columns as well. Okay, so 5 is number of columns. Okay? So there is no condition that if there is four columns in first row, it should have four columns in second row. It has five columns in second row. That's why we have declared the number of columns when we start populating the row. Okay,
Okay.
okay. Is it clear to you?
Yeah, a little bit confusion because I don't have any this
Yeah,
coding.
yeah. Just
Yeah,
go.
I will practice. Yes.
Yeah, this is just for knowledge.
Yeah, yeah. I will surely
You will
practice. Yeah.
you will get to know that why I'm telling you this when we start implementing this object array.
Okay.
When we start implementing framework, it will become very handy. You
Mm.
will suppose I will just give you example.
Okay.
See, if it is there. Now, if you see, these are the test cases. Now,
Okay.
if you see second row has four columns, one, two,
Yeah.
three, four. But when you
Okay.
reaches eighth row, now number of columns becomes
Fine.
five.
Mm.
Okay, so data can be anything. Like it has
Yeah.
six rows, it has seven rows, it has eight rows, or again you say that in the 13th row, the
Only four
columns
columns.
is four columns. So
Mm.
this will come handy when we read this type of data.
Okay.
Okay, so uh, should I move forward or just halt here?
I think we should hold here because I will practice on this like
Okay,
string, integer, boolean, and what else? This increment, condition, what else? Array and object array. These things I want to
yeah,
practice before
yeah,
going to the further.
okay. Just remember my point that you have to mark your key points for every
Mm,
lecture.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, it will help you in the interview. When you go for the interview, just read those points, and it will all the things will be clear to you that what we have studied.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
so
Mm.
okay, so actually, you like my way of teaching?
Yes, yes, of course. I understand. I'm understanding what you're explaining, but only the thing is I want to practice more on the particular session, and then only we'll
Mm-hmm.
go for the next class. That's what I want to be
Yes.
clear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I just ask you that should I move
Yeah.
or should I halt here?
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so
can you tell me today class you have given first initialization and next
we have
we
we have started with you can say that concatenation operator, the plus operator.
okay operators, right?
Okay, concatenation operator, that how concatenation of string and integer is done. So if integer is
What is that? What type of operator you said?
concatenation
Call?
operator, concatenation operator. If I just say concatenation operator. Okay, go for the you can say plus operator or say
Okay.
concatenation. Concatenate
Okay.
you means that it will join the two things. We are
Okay.
concatenating the two strings, or you can say if concatenating string with int, then it will give string as well. Okay,
Uh-huh.
then we have go with the loops, that what is while loop and what is for loop, and I have given you one exercise that you have to print the sum of first 100 numbers.
Okay.
Okay,
So we learn if, while, for, else also, right, today?
yeah, then
If,
we have
while,
see.
for,
Yeah,
loop.
then we have see the implementation of for loops in int rows and columns. Okay, then we have studied the array. Then we have
Yes.
studied the that string array cannot hold
Yeah.
integer value or any other data
Object,
type
yeah.
value.
Okay.
Okay, then we hold that is object array, that it can hold multiple data types. Okay,
Yes.
and we have to declare the number of columns when we start populating the rows.
Declare number of columns, right?
Yeah, You can say we have declared a number of rows when we declare the object array, and for each row we have to declare column
Okay.
every time. Okay, and it can hold multiple data type.
Okay.
Okay, so this is we have done today.